Hello everyone and welcome back. This time I'm going to go over the match that just happened this past weekend at F2Win 119 where JT Torres faced off against Vagner Rocha. This is a very interesting matchup. They are both under 77 kilogram fighters in the ADCC. They were so in the same division in the last ADCC, and I would imagine JT is definitely confirmed, but I'm not sure if Vagner is. But it's quite possible that this matchup could also happen in the ADCC. So, and I believe Vagner was got the third place in ADCC, and JT got is the champion. So, both in the top three of the weight category, if you look at it that way. So an interesting matchup. I would say JT in general is a bit more technical grappler. He's quite fast and very technical, and Vagner is, well, kind of a violent guy that he is, but it's also technical violence, let's say it, let's call it like that. So an interesting match on the paper, and there wasn't too many action really throughout the match that happened. There was a couple of really nice takedowns by JT. The ADCC camp is underway, so he's probably sharpening his wrestling skills, and he really timed well a couple of double legs where just Vagner didn't have a chance to even defend them. They just JT went in like whoosh, and it was already too deep, had too good control, and just took him down quite easily. But a really nice sequence happened towards the end of the match, and that's what I'm gonna go over with you. And let's just head into it. So this entire sequence lasts about a minute or and a half or so, and I've broken it down just a few segments, and this is where it all begins. So we're in a closed guard situation. You can't see perfectly from this angle, but JT is kind of just in a closed guard. He's down low. I guess Vagner is not really expecting much to go on there. And JT gonna just with his right arm, you can't see JT's and right side from here, but with his right arm, he's gonna push the legs open. I guess Vagner it's towards the end of the match, or the final quarter of the match, so maybe taking it a bit easier, just opening up the legs, because it's not really easy to open close guards just simply by pushing on the leg from the like the way he's gonna do now. But he just pushes and Vagner opens up. Let's see the clip a little bit. So here's the clip. He pushes the legs open, steps over it, and here comes where everything starts to go downhill. He allows JT to get the head and arm control. Just let's look at it one more time. It's half speed. So JT pushes the leg open, steps it over, and then he gets the head and arm control. And that's really bad news. But I'll go over that a bit more in depth. What's going on? So after he steps it over, this is like if you're on the bottom here and you just had a closed guard, and you have an arm, sort of an overhooking or just grabbing the head like so deep here as Vagner's hand is. So his right hand. The number one thing on top that I would recommend doing, and you'll see top guys do this all the time, is when you're in half guard top, and if you can get head and arm control, you're just gonna be in the bottom position. You're gonna be in a very, very bad spot. And as soon as your guard opens up and he steps over, JT steps over, and you do not react to this, and you keep your arm here. So if it's closed guard, it's fine that the arm is there. But in the open guard, as soon as it opens, you'd want to remove this hand from there and make it sort of a frame. Place the hand on the other side of on the other side of the head. So Vagner's right arm you should remove it from there and put it like this here. So that you can push JT's face away with your forearm, so you can keep some distance there. You're able to recover the guard better, maybe get the top leg out of the bottom leg out from underneath. But he doesn't do that, and there's quite like a few seconds here that's happened. So he just opened up and stepped over. JT is still not locked in. It's not still locked in, still not locked in, still not locked in. Now he's gonna get locked in. So, and all this time Vagner just that arm here, it was just there. and he's going to be, everything that follows is just because of that. Because if you can get a head and arm control, and if you know how to keep it really well, you're able to just have so much dominant control over the bottom guy that it's just ridiculous. And this is about to just go on here. So just in the half guard now, but now he has head and arm control. And if you can keep it tight, like you know how when you clasp your hands together here, that you're able to pull your elbows inwards. When you're in JT's perspective, you're gonna have a nice grip there. You're gonna pull your elbows inwards, and then later on he will do it all the time. That's one part of the grip, and I like to call it the death grip. That's why the name of the video as well, because it's just so dominant. And the gripping itself is just one part of it. So if you trap the head and arm in between your arms and your own head, but you will use your body. JT will use the floor. You will use your feet to push towards the grips. So your grips are pulling, and then your feet are pushing your chest against the grips. So there's this kind of a double pressure. So his upper body will be coming down as his grips are pulling himself against Vagner even more. So it creates tremendous pressure there if you do it right, and makes it in one part, it makes it impossible basically for Vagner to try to turn towards JT. You can't do that. The crossface is too strong. The forward pressure coming from the legs driving forward there, it's just too much. You can't resist it. So you have only the option is to basically turn the other way if you want to get any movement going. But okay, so this is where the sequence really started, and the start is really the end here as well. So let's look at it a little bit further. This is just moments later, just to demonstrate to you that Vagner is just trying to, or even better yet, he's really unable to try to create any kind of a space or a movement, even though he has a left arm between JT's legs. And you might maybe think that, oh, he can create some bridging motion and maybe elevate JT's hips a little bit off the floor. Maybe get a little bit of a distance there and sort of try to roll JT over here, like roll him forward here. But if you have a really nice grip, you know how to hold this grip, you won't get thrown over that way. You drill this somewhat, and you have a sense of balance and how to stay on top there. You won't fly over there. And this is kind of a normal continuation when you have this kind of head and arm control, is that you try to get this sort of a quarter mount, meaning the knee that is in between the legs still, the leg that is between Vagner's legs, so the one that is in the half guard. You want to get that knee out to the other side so you're in the quarter mount, and that's what happens there. And because of the head and arm control is just on the bottom, you're really unable to do anything. Just let's look at it a couple of more times. So he has head and arm control, and he's just kind of slide his legs. So there was probably a moment where Vagner also didn't hold the legs very tight. It's no-gi as well, so it's more slippery, especially towards the end of the match or the later half of the match. So they're a bit sweaty. So he just slide his knee to this quarter mount so that only his ankle is in there. But once again, everything that's only possible. Everything is made available because of that head and arm control. If you know how to keep your elbows close, get that sort of this grip. You would like to almost think of it like your hands are sort of a rope. So you make them loose so they can get in really tight, so they can close a lot of space here around the head from either side. And you drive your upper body into it as well. It's just completely locked down. JT advanced to the quarter mount. Again, not much that Vagner could do about it. So now that we're in the quarter mount, the next little clip part is going to be just a few moments later. Let's look at the end. JT is going to mount him now. He's going to put the foot in there, slide his other foot open, boom, and he's basically in the mount now. And just Vagner just stabilizes immediately, just because it's so dominant position once again. The death grip really locks it down, so you can't move much and just accepts the mount. I mean, what else can you do from the bottom there. It's really bad. But let's look at its at the way JT advanced from the quarter position, quarter mount to the full mount. And really, again, the main thing is that you need to be able to, this area here, how you're holding this control, this needs to be really tight and locked down. But because then you can take this foot, the free leg that you have here, so JT's right foot here, this one, he's able to pick it up from the floor, insert it as a hook between Vagner's legs, and then use it to pry open the ankle that is stuck there and go into the mount. Let's look at it again. So he takes the foot, puts it between the legs, and I just can't emphasize this enough. I've seen people to sometimes get this control, but if you don't have body positioning correct, if you get too high with the hips or you start falling over, your hands are a bit loose, you can get like bumped over here you lose a little bit balance, and then you need to release the grip so you can hold balance with the arms. But because JT is very excellent with that, he's able to just move his legs freely and get that ankle free, and now he's in full mount. Just perfect. This next part really, it wouldn't be a Vagner Rocha match if you didn't see some muffler action. So he busts out the muffler. Usually he does that in the being himself in a superior position, but he's not in a superior position, he's in an inferior one, and he muffles JT a little bit there, puts his hand on the face. I mean, it can be a little bit annoying, but then again, it's not really a problem if you are in the dominant position as JT is, especially since Vagner is using his left arm, okay, he's using his right arm to do the muffling. And as soon as JT, which he is gonna do momentarily, if he leans a little bit more to the left here with the head, Vagner's left, his right, if he leans in this direction, he's able to just, and turns his head with it at the same time, he's able to just remove it. So it's not really a problem when you're in a dominant position. So he's just gonna turn his lean his body a little bit to the left and turn his head as well, so you can get out of the muffler pretty easily. Because you could also, if you're on top, and you could also maybe even attack the arm, like go for a Americana style submission threats. But if you release the death grip, I mean, you lose control, and it's notoriously hard to submit these high-level guys with some sort of an arm locks. It's just not that easy. So I guess he would rather maintain control, and rightfully so, because it'll open up the last thing that's basically gonna happen when you have this kind of a control, and on the bottom you're just out of the directions and ideas to move to. And this is the same sequence, just a little bit longer, maybe 10-15 seconds. Actually, we can see how many longer this is. So this is like, no, it's like about 30 seconds later. JT, he makes a little adjustment here. He in the end, he's gonna put his head like behind Vagner's head here. So this is the spot. That's not a good arrow. So he's gonna put his head behind Vagner's head here, and basically open up even more this direction. So that direction is available for Vagner if he wants to turn that way, basically inviting him to do so, because if you do it that way, you're able to start taking the back. And I've skipped a little bit of that, but basically he puts the head there, tilts his body a little bit to the side. We'll see that in the next clip. So he's tilted his body to the side, his head is behind Vagner's head, and once again, because of the death grips and this upper body control, Vagner finds it tremendously hard to try to turn towards JT, because that's where you would want to turn when you're on the bottom and the guy's past their guard and you'd like to face him. That's how you recover guard. But he's unable to do so, and really the clock is winding down as well. You don't want to just wait here forever. He turns the other way, which is something that you would want the guy to do on the bottom when you're in JT's position. So Vagner's gonna turn, Let's look at the clip, and JT is gonna just take the back. So Vagner goes for it. He tries to ghost, but you expose yourself. And if the guy on top is a good back taker, which almost all the top guys are, so he's gonna capitalize on that. Thing is, he wants to get the lower hook in. So as Vagner turns here, he starts to turn. He goes flat. You can't do it any other way. JT is riding his shin to the kind of the ribs, and that puts tremendous pressure on Vagner. So it's not easy or fast. You can't make this turtling and moving in turtle very quickly because of all the pressure that's coming down on you in all sorts of directions. Just a lot of weight to the hips, to the back. So, and as you turn, there will be space here coming between the mat and Vagner's body. You'll see this in a moment. Now there's space. There was space there. Let's just look at it a little bit once again. That's critical, because that's when you drill this as a back take. That's what you do on the top. You will turn the angle. You will try to turn yourself in a way that you can get the near hook in from here. So Vagner's body is going to go off the floor a little bit. There will be space here. It's just for a little moment, but that's all you need at the high level. So there's the space. There's the space, and you can't see it because everything came in front. But the bottom hook gets put in there. So now we have the bottom hook. We have a nice back control. Vagner was able to not let the second hook get in, and able to eventually, or shortly after, drop JT off the back there. But he did get a really nice attack going. So that was the sequence I really wanted to cover. It was a beautiful sequence. It all starts from here. Just let's look at the beginning again, because that's the beginning of the end there, because you allow to get the grip there. You're in close guard. You have an overhook on the bottom. You're not really worried about much. Boom, you go over. Now it's time to react. It's time to get that right arm in between yourself and the guy on the top. Vagner doesn't do anything there. Of course, obvious, JT starts to lean forward there as well. It's not that easy anymore. There's very little space there. But yeah, and then just dominating with the grip, just making advancements to the quarter mount, and then advancing to the full mount there. Little muffler action coming as well. And finally, when nothing works, you're really stuck. You gotta expose your back to make an escape out of it, and JT capitalizes on that and gets a good position. All right, this was me branching out a little bit, as this far I've only done the Gordon Ryan's videos as breakdowns. Yeah, I want to follow individual grapplers on their quest to go from somewhere to the have some sort of an endpoint, either championships or so. But I also want to cover the events that are happening presently, not just in the past. So this was one of them, and I look forward to other events that are coming, and make some analysis of them, but also finish up the Gordon Ryan saga in the near future. So I thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Not to get yourself death gripped. Let yourself get death grip, or at least get or learn to start getting the death grip yourself. And if you like the video, please like, and you feel free to share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.